salty Gulf Coast to the rolling high plains, to the piney woods in the east. All across our dear Texas, folks need good food to eat. Our farmers and ranchers are heroes. They've always made Texas great. Texas agriculture matters. It's the heart of the Lone Star State. Oh, Texas got it all, y'all.
Well, howdy, neighbors. I'm your Texas Agriculture Commissioner, Sid Miller. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Texas Agriculture Matters right here on RFD TV. Today, we're going to explore a cutting-edge technology set to revolutionize cattle management, facial recognition technology for cattle. Now, technology may not be what comes to mind when you think about farming and ranching. While the basics of agriculture, soil, sunlight, seed, and water, have stayed constant for centuries, farmers and ranchers are natural innovators, relying on traditional but always seeking a better way to be good stewards of our resources. Now, most ranchers can scan their pasture and spot a cow or calf that they've raised, but picture this. What if you could access an animal's complete health history, whether it originated on your ranch or from another, right from your smartphone or your tablet? Now, tracking technology has transformed ranching, streamlining operations and enhancing efficiency. Take, for instance, the use of GPS and RFID ear tags by ranchers to track and monitor their cattle, kind of like how a grocery store manages their inventory to ensure that the shelves are always stocked. In modern ranching, this level of care is crucial. Not only does it optimize cattle health and welfare, but it also ensures a ranch's productivity and adds to profitability. Now, cattle facial recognition technology is another step forward, and used with artificial intelligence programs, ranchers can track their cattle's whereabouts and record their health history from birth, literally from field to the freezer. Join us as we learn more about the promising opportunities 406 Bovine could create for our Texas ranchers. Technology in cattle management is just another way Texas agriculture matters.
Forrest Roberts grew up on his family-owned, diversified livestock operation in Uvalde, outside of San Antonio. But today he runs ARB Cattle Company in Damon, not far from Houston. ARB standing for American Red Beef, a composite of Red Angus and Santa Gertrudis.
We have focused here more recently of taking that American Red cow and artificially inseminate breeding those cows to Charolais bulls. And that terminal cross is what we plan to retain and feed and to be able to position as a great beef eating experience for consumers, not only here in the state of Texas, but across the United States and perhaps other parts of the world.
Roberts founded ARB in 2021. He wanted to combine his love for livestock with his background in animal science. He earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Animal Science from Texas A&M and a Master's of Business from the University of North Carolina.
We like to look at this approach that we take here in this little small operation to bring education, whether it be real-world practical education as well as formal education, and all those experiences you gain over the years and all the things you do wrong and the mistakes you make, how you make those things right and make an operation work, make it tick, and make it profitable. This is a very family-focused business that we have with ARB Cattle Company, and again, the American Red cattle are what we focus on. So we're very proud to be a part of producing one of the best beef eating experiences that you can find, not just here in this part of the world, but anywhere around the world.
Roberts is now one of the board members of an artificial intelligence company called 406 Bovine. Brian Elliott, the founder of that company, says it's facial recognition technology that's a real game changer in the cattle industry.
I've been very blessed also to be a part of the 406 Bovine team for about 4 years. And it is incredible technology where we can take a 3-second video of an animal when we profile that animal. And now I've got everything about that animal at the tips of my finger on my iPhone. And then I can have that animal out in a pasture setting or in a set of corrals, and I can zoom in and take a picture of that animal, and now I have the profile of all of that data, all of that information about that individual animal, whether it be a cow a bull or a calf, and I now know how I can make better and more informed management decisions about what to do with that animal, all again right here at the tip of my fingers on my iPhone. I don't need any other equipment. I don't need any other facilities. It's a very simple and very practical and very efficient way to utilize technology from an identification perspective that allows us, we think, to be able to take identification in our operation to the next level.
With the big AI buzz over the last few years that we've seen, 406 Bovine has been able to integrate artificial intelligence, machine learning, and apply that into the cattle industry. We've been in operation in development for 4.5 years. We've collected a lot of data over various parts of the U.S. on different types of cattle, different operations, and different climates. We have a total of 6.8 million images in our database that we're working from. And so this is very much alive and well today to use.
406 Bovine leverages advancements in smartphones and robotics to build this state-of-the-art system. Using a fusion of cameras and depth sensors, AI reconstructs a 3D version of the cattle's head. Robert says that he incorporates this AI with more traditional forms of identification like tags and tattoos. But 406 Bovine is taking his business to the next level.
Facial recognition technology, we look at it as very complementary to other forms of identification, whether that is a hanging tag or if it is an electronic ID. We do both. They have a Running W brand from the King Ranch. They also have an EID. They also have an American Red certified tag, and they also have a numeric hanging tag.
Roberts is confident that AI like this will not only help his bottom line, but will improve the customer's experience when they have a steak for dinner. I'm Tammy Arender for Texas Agriculture Matters.
Well, howdy, neighbors. Hey, today it's my pleasure to have Brian Elliott joining me. Now, Brian serves as the Chief Executive Officer for a 406 Bovine. Brian, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me. Sure appreciate it.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Brian Elliott, founder and CEO of 406 Bovine. I've primarily spent my career in beef production, mostly up in the western states, and so I've had a lot of opportunity to work across the western states. Then I reside down in south of Katy, Texas now, but had a great opportunity to work on a lot of different unique ranches. I didn't necessarily stay back home on the family place, but got out and explored, and I've always been real fascinated with other ranching operations and how things are done in different areas.
Now, we're in the age of technology now. I mean, agriculture's changed. This technology age is upon us. So talk to us about facial recognition and how that could apply in ranching.
Yeah, absolutely. So facial recognition, it's a great tool for producers. How it's done is when you add new cattle, you're going to bring them through the chute for the first time. This only has to be done one time. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a 3-second video, and what that does is it scans from eye to eye, and that grabs the unique facial features of the animal, and then prompt you to the individual profile information where we're attaching a lot of different information to individual cattle. And so.
Good. So to explain to our listeners and to me, because I'm curious about this, how would this facial recognition benefit a rancher? What could come of that? How could he use it?
Absolutely. There's a lot of great benefits. Number one being it's a permanent ID. It's something that can't be lost or tampered with. Number two is we can use this from the phone in our pocket. There's not a big input cost, startup fee. We just use the phone that's in our pocket that most of us have today. Third great benefit to facial recognition is we're not restricted to just using this at the chute. We can use this out in the pasture, out in the feedlot. Absolutely, if cattle are coming back through the chute, let's use it and update their profile and grab all that information. But I mean, we can zoom into cattle up to 50 feet away and recognize them,
wow.
Whether that's horseback, ATV, pickup truck, you name it. We can zoom in up to 50 feet and positively ID that animal.
What comes to mind immediate for me is a dairyman, because they have to have all kinds of facts and figures and milk production and temperature. How does this technology integrate or mesh with other things we're already doing? How does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of what we're talking about here today, and a lot that you'll hear about 406 Bovine, is an app on the App Store that a producer can download today. We can go to the App Store and download it today for $19.95 a month. But another offering that we have is an API. And so I'll get a little bit technical on you here, but an API is an application programming interface. What that simply means is we can plug this technology into existing cattle management software. So we take the software that's out there being used by producers today, we can plug our API in there and enable the facial recognition in there. So we are actively speaking with these technology providers, working on integrating the API into existing software.
So what kind of data could be collected? What can we accumulate?
Yeah, a lot of different data that we're collecting. You know, the focus of ours is simplicity, and we want ease of use. We want somebody to pick up this software and say, wow, that was really easy to use. And so we've accommodated for a lot of different ranching type operations, all the way from cow-calf to stalker grower up to confined feeding operations. And so we're going to be tracking, you know, birth date, animal weight, animal health notes, breeding notes, just a lot of different individual.
So it could be really beneficial for a registered seed stock operation.
Absolutely, yeah. We can
great for that.
We can track all the parentage and all of that stuff that you know electronically and somewhere that we're not going to lose it. It's readily available, and it's right at our fingertips.
Hey, folks, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with more with Brian right here on Texas Agriculture Matters. Stay tuned. Welcome back, neighbors, to Texas Agriculture Matters. Hey, I'm your host, Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller. Now, let's continue our talk with the Chief Executive Officer of 406 Bovine, Brian Elliott. Now, is there any success stories out there, case studies that maybe our listeners could refer to get some more information?
Yeah, actually, absolutely. We, you know, since my time down here in Texas over the last couple of years, we've been covering a lot of different operations, a lot of unique operations, all the way from cow-calf up to confined feeding operations. And so one operation in particular, it's a large confined feeding operation. They came to us and said, look, our issue is we're having a fallout rate of RFID tags. All of the cattle in that operation are tagged with RFID tags. And on top of a fallout rate, they were having an increased rate of faulty reads on those tags, and so they looked at facial recognition, and we got them set up as a starting point, as a secondary source of identification. So if that animal lost its tag, they had backup information to say this is in fact that animal, and this is all the information. They can re-tag that without losing all that information. And we've seen other ranches also that aren't necessarily using RFID tags, but hanging tags, and application works the same for them.
You might lose an ear tag, but you're not going to lose your face, right?
That's right.
It's going to be there as long as the animal's alive anyway.
Yep.
So what do you see? This is all fascinating, but so what do you see the future of technology? See any changes coming, or what's coming down the road that we might be prepared for?
I think technology is going to play a much bigger role than we see today in the agriculture industry. We see other industries around us using technology, and we can start applying that now to the agriculture industry, and that's due to just technology as overall becoming better cameras, better phones, better just a lot of different stuff. The hardware or the software that works inside of the devices like LiDAR, and there's just opening up, all these advancements are opening up a lot of different opportunities for us to even use in the agriculture industry. And so specifically talking about facial recognition, there is a lot of different use case applications that we can use with facial recognition, and that's another reason why we want to offer an API, because there's so many applications that we just couldn't account for all of them. And so
Sure.
I really see other businesses being built off of use case applications for facial recognition.
Okay. Last question. What do you think Texas agriculture matters?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I could go on and on about that one, but I'll stay in my lane on this one. But animal agriculture is a cornerstone in American production and history, and Texas plays a significant role in that and in feeding America. And so I see, Texas setting the bar and in efficiency and technology, and others around the country looking to Texas to see, how are they becoming more efficient and growing and all of those other things. So I really see Texas as setting the bar.
Brian,
for that.
thanks for joining us here on Texas Agriculture Matters. Very interesting subject.
Thank you.
Hey, folks, let's take a look at another one of our great Go Texan partners. For over 20 years, the Texas Department of Agriculture's Go Texan program has helped promote products made right here in the Lone Star State. From boots to salsa, Go Texan members make the best stuff on earth. Now, friends, let's take a look at one of these fine Texas businesses and why they are Go Texan proud.
Go Texan every day.
Chef Flacco's Salsa, we are a Texas-based salsa company, and we manufacture salsa, hot sauce, and queso, and we do a lot of business at Texas farmers markets, and we also do wholesale business all around the U.S. So my journey started in Austin, where I went to culinary school, and then proceeded to go work on the Riverwalk in San Antonio. And I worked on the Riverwalk in San Antonio for about 7 years, where I got the nickname Flacco, which means skinny, or skinny boy in Spanish because of my thin stature. Decided to name it after that namesake because of all the awesome flavors and things that I learned working on the Riverwalk in San Antonio. Wanted to keep that kind of that air with the brand name. It all started with the perfect salsa recipe, and after creation of that recipe, which I was using, actually started doing an omelet station at the dining room in the hotel where I was working, and I would go out and make omelets to order wearing the tall chef hat, and we started serving this fresh salsa with the omelets. And all the customers started raving about this salsa. They said it was the best salsa they'd ever had. And someone suggested, Adam, this is really good salsa. You start selling it. And so I started formulating a business plan and how I was going to market this salsa. And of course, me being a chef, my mind just went wild with all these great ideas and different products that I wanted to create. And so that's how Chef Flacco's Salsa was born. Our house brand is Chef Flacco's Salsa. We started out with 3 heat levels of salsa, a mild, a medium, and hot. Since then, we've added a lot of different specialty products. We have 4 different kinds of queso, all of which contain our salsa in them. We have several different other kinds of dip. We have a salsa ranch. We have a green dip called verde. And we also started making our own tortilla chips from scratch. We fry those fresh every week for our patrons out at the farmer's market. So started creating flavors that I thought would pair well with meals. Me being a chef, like I said, I like to pair hot sauce with my meals, kind of like you would pair a wine with a meal, which depending on whichever flavors go together with that meal, and of course the heat level. So we started doing that about 3 years ago. Now we have 8 different hot sauces, and we love to compete with our hot sauces. We just came off a win. We won first place at the International Flavor Awards with our smoked onion chipotle hot sauce 2 years in a row. And one of our most unique flavors, Magic Mushroom Stout, which is an alcohol-infused hot sauce made from smoked shiitake mushrooms, black garlic, and stout beer reduction, won a second place award at the International Flavor Awards this year. And I wanted to brand my products with the Go Texans because it's such a great program that supports all the local businesses and that Texas Proud feel. Also, there's a lot of benefits for being a Go Texan member as far as being a small business. My name's Adam Yock, chef owner of Chef Flacco's Gourmet Foods, and we are Go Texan Proud.
You're Texan every day.
Well, neighbors, thank you for joining us for another episode of Texas Agriculture Matters. Hey, I hope you enjoyed learning more about cattle facial recognition technology and the possibilities it opens up for ranchers and their cattle operations. And just like our smartphones and smart home devices have made our lives easier and more connected, new technologies like cattle facial recognition are revolutionizing the way farmers and ranchers manage their operations. Imagine being able to track the health and history of each animal with just a click, ensuring they receive the best care possible. Technology is one key to unlocking even greater efficiency and success at the farm. You know, agriculture touches everyone's life, whether you're in the city or the country. The food on our tables and the clothes on our backs all start with hardworking farmers and ranchers. You know, embracing innovative technologies in agriculture not only helps our farmers and our ranchers, but also ensures we meet the growing demand for food and resources around the world. As technology continues to advance, so does our ability to provide for future generations. As always, I'd like to close by saying thanks to every farmer and rancher who works from sunrise to sunset to help keep our rural heritage alive. Now finally, here's today's cowboy logic. The difference between genius and stupidity is genius has its limits. Thank you and God bless. Remember, friends, Texas agriculture matters.
From the salty Gulf Coast to the rolling high plains, to the piney woods in the east, all across our dear Texas, folks need good food to eat. Our farmers and ranchers are heroes. They've always made Texas great. Texas agriculture matters. It's the heart of the Lone Star State.
Oh, Texas got it all.